Welcome to Creatives Grab Coffee, the podcast on the business of video production.
Creatives Grab Coffee is hosted by Dario Nuri and Kirill Lazarov from Labs Productions. Our goal is to share knowledge and experiences from video production professionals around the world. Whether you're a freelancer looking to start your own business or a seasoned business owner aiming to scale your company, this is the show for you.
Join us as we develop a community of like-minded creatives looking to learn and help each other grow. Welcome to the business of video production. Welcome to Creatives Grab Coffee.
Before we get started with the show, let's go over today's sponsors.
Do you have a shoot in Toronto? Do you need crew or a strong production partner to help you with your project? Labs Productions is one of the top production companies in Toronto and your go-to video partner.
With our strong creative skills and extensive network, we can help you achieve your goal. Labs Productions is able to offer you production services, white label services, or finder fees for project handoffs.
Reach out to us on our website at lapsproductions.com to learn more.
My name is Miran. Welcome to Canada Film Equipment. We are a boutique rental house based in Toronto. We are here to help you guys out with all production sizes. Feel free to contact us to get a quote if you are a production house and you're looking for lighting, camera packages, or lighting and group fan packages. You can see our contact information in the link below. We are more than happy to help you guys out. Make sure you follow and subscribe to creativesgrabcoffee.com. Thank you.
Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Matt. Welcome to Audio Process. We are a boutique audio company doing location sound design, post-sound, ADR, Foley. We service equipment. We do all your audio needs here in Toronto. We got you covered. Come on down, audioprocess.ca. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and all of the other internet things to creativesgrabcoffee.com. They'll be waiting for you. I'll be waiting for you, and we're all gonna have a real good time.
And now, let's begin the show.
So now it's recording.
Oh, awesome. Hey guys.
Yeah, keep telling us about how, Riverside doesn't have all the features you want it to have and can't hear your voice. And
No, so far Riverside hasn't been the problem. It's been the two people in the squares in front of me with the microphone placement and
Hey, we just want you to look your best, that's all.
Yo, do you guys know what I was listening to this morning? I was watching the latest Cold Fusion video on the new ChatGPT 4 Omnivision. What's it called? It's a GPT 4.0, and they have like this
4.0,
new
yeah.
voice. They have like this new voice, and it sounded identical to a human being.
Yeah, I was
I heard
listening
about
to that too.
The
It's
first thing I
wild.
realized, because we're going through, we're in the process of hiring some voiceovers right now for one of our upcoming video shoots, and the first thing I thought of is, okay, scratch the voices.com auditions. I think we found the new,
Yeah.
new voiceover artist. It sounds
Seriously.
identical to a person.
we actually used AI to like work out our script copy in an ad. So like we were able to figure out what we wanted for the the previous cuts with the AI voiceover, and then we went and got the voiceover artist after we kind of knew what we wanted.
What
That was
did you
pretty
guys
clever.
use? 11 Labs?
Honestly, I don't know. The client sent it to me. The client did it.
Oh, they did it.
Oh,
Yeah. He was like, "Here you go." I was like, "Huh?" And it was awesome. So
yeah.
Yeah.
We've highlighted how up until this point, a lot of the AI voiceover software has only been good for mostly pre-production aspects, just to kind of test out certain elements to see how it would work in the video. It's actually really good for helping you figure out also what music you want to pick sometimes when you're going into the pre-production for a project, and that actually helped us out with a recent shoot we did. So we tested out some of the voices. We've heard how the script sounded against like certain songs, and we're like, okay, this will be the song that we use. Maybe this is the kind of voice style that we're looking for. But we obviously, it's just up until this point, it hasn't been dynamic enough. These AI voices, they've always been like a hint of roboticism.
Sounds
And
flat.
the funny,
They sound very flat.
yeah, but the funny
Yeah.
thing is sometimes when you listen to voiceover, real people giving their auditions, they have the same flat voiceover sound. So I'm wondering if the AI is learning from those guys to sound more and more flat. It's like, come on, guys, just give a little bit of human
But
life, a
where's
little
it
bit of.
learning it from? It's probably learning it from like YouTube videos and like movies, no? That's probably what they're feeding it.
I wouldn't know. Yeah, maybe commercials. I mean, I don't
Podcasts.
know. Yeah, podcast would be a good one. I would just think ads. Like if I were programming that AI, I would send it over to ads, I guess. You know, radio ads, TV ads, like any kind of ad that would have that kind of voiceover element.
Yeah. But that new GPT voice is wild. The video I was watching, like it, I was like, okay, there's gonna be a ton of new scams. But at the same time, I was thinking for voiceovers, it's gonna be great because it sounds like it's ready. The only thing I would say is that if I think voiceovers artists are gone by the time they introduce like customized voices. So if you could tell it like, because right now you could tell it like, okay, answer me, talk to me, would like add a tone of sarcasm to your voice and everything. It does that really well. So imagine once you could
Yeah.
tell it like, um, add a little bit of deepness to your voice or something like that, or talk a little faster. Like if you could customize the voice profile, that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, for real. And with the way clients tend to be where they want to make a million changes and they never know what they want. And that's going to make it so much easier. It's almost like, is that a bad thing for us? Because it's nice to say, like, we only have 3 opportunities to provide feedback for this. So it kind of like keeps everyone on the hook, you know? It keeps you from over tweaking and just like editing until oblivion, you know?
They just charge for the
Yeah.
extra changes, right? That's the easiest way.
If it's
The
I
one,
mean, are you charging for AI?
no, we
Like
haven't
if
integrated it
we
yet
haven't
like that.
implemented it yet. We've just done it for pre-production. But
Mm-hmm.
I guess if we start, I mean, if you think about it, these services will probably have like a token system. So, I mean, it's not going to be all free. It'll be based on usage, right? So we could still just pass that on to the client. I think that's how it'll probably go. No?
Also, our time. You're also billing for our time to actually
Yeah.
go through. Because when you think about it, every time you go through any type of AI software, it's like doing a live directing session with a voiceover talent, right? You get on a call, you go for like a half hour. It's like, give me that reading. Great. Now do it a little bit like this, then a little bit like that. But you're just going to be doing that with an AI voice, essentially. So you still have to bill for that time that goes
That's
into
fair.
it.
Yeah.
So that's a way to still ground the clients into it. And also, if they want to keep changing it, it might change the pacing of the video and things like that. Oh, then that's going to change the amount of revisions in the editing process as well. It's not so much just the voiceover, it's also in the editing as well.
Gotcha. Yeah. That makes sense. I've never done it, so I don't know. But yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It's around the corner. Like after that release this week, I think it's coming. It's coming a lot faster than we thought it'd be.
Yeah. I know we kind of already jumped into the episode, but just for our listeners, Jeffrey, give us a little like a 411 on who you are in your company.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm Jeff Riley. I'm co-owner of Noble Bison Productions. So what that means is generally I'm directing, kind of like the creative director of Noble Bison. Tim, my business partner, he and I kind of split the producing requirements, per the job, and he does some things, I do some things, and together we kind of get it done. But mostly where I'm found is directing. So yeah, we've been going at it for about 5 years now, and it's been great. And we're in Denver, Colorado, and yeah, it's been an awesome place to start a business, and we've had some really great opportunities with awesome clients and some cool projects.
What kind of typical clientele do you have in Denver, Colorado, or like what is the industry like there for you guys? Because you're mentioning how it's been like a great ride just within a short 5 years. So what are your thoughts?
Oh man, we're pretty mixed out here. There's kind of everything, and yeah, I mean, I know that's kind of like I don't know, like a cheesy typical thing to say, but it's true. I mean, you're never really sure what's gonna come in your inbox for projects and whatnot. I wish there were more ads, but I feel like even the amount that we do get, I feel fortunate and lucky that we're even getting that much work, being so close to LA and whatnot. Um, but yeah, it's just kind of all over the board, and from big to small.
So like what are like some of like your favorite types of projects that you've gotten to work on over the last few years that might be more specific to the Denver, Colorado region?
Yeah, okay, so I guess I'll just go from like most recent to, way back, but recently we're finishing up an ad for a college called Otero in La Junta, Colorado, and that's been really great. Um, and so that's like an ad for their college. There's a young girl. She's talking to a college or a high school counselor. She's supposed to be, and she's trying to figure out what college to go to. She's got some reservations about the money and just like the track and all that. And then eventually she goes on a tour to at La Junta, or sorry, at Otero, and she comes back and she's like, oh, I figured it out. I know where I want to go. So that was really great for us. We haven't done a whole lot of dialogue in our ads, somehow, some way. So that was a big opportunity for us. So it was like, yes, let's take it. Like we're gonna just like really send this one. So it's been I don't want to call it like a passion project, but it's been a bit of a labor of love for us. So that one really means a lot to me right now. Um, Prior to that, we closed out last year with another kind of similar sized ad for this company called Watermill. That was really cute. It was like a daughter and mom, and they're like getting their water. Watermill is like those water kiosks. I don't know if y'all have Kroger up in Canada, but like in our Krogers, we have like actually they don't even call them Kroger here. I'm like crossing way too many boundaries here, but they call them King Supers. If you go to King Supers, there's like an ice thing. You like put your container into the ice or your like ice bag or whatever, and it like dumps ice, and then you can. So this Watermill is like that, but even more, and it's independent, freestanding. It's cheaper. It's like a resource for lower class society. Water. It's a lot cheaper. It's really clean. So they're an awesome company, and that was a really fun ad. Um, and then we did, what was it, last year, or maybe a year and a half ago now, we did an ad for Trimble. They're like a techie company that they work in a bunch of different industries, but we were specifically targeting the construction industry, and we did an ad for them, and it had some VFX, which was really cool for us to kind of get our feet dipped into. We had this guy like popping up on screen. He had this like kind of digital effect going, and we got to bring out some really big toys for that one, which was super exciting. It's always fun when you've got like a 1,000 people on set. Not really 1,000, but a lot of people on set, and all the fancy toys and all the big things going on. So definitely made me feel like I'm doing it, mom. Like
Mom, I
so
made
that was
it.
cool. Yeah, yeah.
A lot of projects like those they can always be very exciting when you get to do something a little bit different that you don't typically do. I mean, like a lot of us do corporate videos, from the day to day or the in between, to kind of obviously pay the bills and keep the business going. But then once in a while, when those projects that are completely out of the norm come through, that's when you want to really get kind of like creative with certain aspects of it. And what you mentioned was interesting because you like some of them were kind of like branded stories, right? Like for like focusing on certain subjects and people. Were those projects something that the client came to you with, or was this something that you wanted kind of pitched to them and wanted to explore in terms of like telling a story like that?
They come to us. They kind of know what they want, and it kind of depends. Our highest budgeted ads have been like, they know the story, they have the storyboards. Here it is, you're a production company, make it happen. Now, when we shot Trimble, like I had agency and freedom to be the director on set. but I knew the boards that we needed to accomplish, and I was given freedom to kind of work with the actors. We did a lot of improv. We did a lot of alt lines, per the agency's request. But I know my direction, but I get to drive the car, if that makes sense. And that's been the bulk of our experience. We as a company have not done a whole lot of like really any pitching to someone, hey, Laps guys, I've got a video for you. Like we don't do that. So we've been fortunate enough to have everything kind of, offered to us, and then we do our thing and make it as awesome as we can. Now that being said, the smaller ads, which would be like the watermill that I talked about and the Otero, I had a little bit more creative fingerprint on that. So I was like really like the watermill ad, which unfortunately it still isn't. Neither of these ads are on our website. But that one has some transitions that I was like really, really gung ho about. And it was like we did these match cuts, and we measured the moves, we did dolly, and it was like this whole technical thing, and so the client was like all for it, let me do that, along with other small little things, but that was more of a collaborative effort there. And then with Otero, that was also very collaborative. Like that client was at like, I mean, it was almost like, hey, you're allowed to tell me no. Like, just because I said this idea doesn't mean it's awesome. Like, if it sucks, tell me. Like, they were too easy. So that was great. I mean, it's been wonderful. They've been awesome to work with. And but yeah, I got to really make that come to life. Like, they had no storyboards. I storyboarded the whole thing. I knew how I wanted the shots to go. Like, we transitioned from a 2-shot. Oh, sorry, I just bumped the mic there. We did a 2-shot of them at the table where she's like talking to her counselor about schools, and then that transitions to another 2-shot of her and a friend walking through the hallway. And I had this whole idea of how that audio was going to go fade in and out from each other. I was really specific that when we got to the hallway, that it was a 2-shot. We weren't going to do any close-ups. We weren't going to cross shoot, nothing. Like, that was it. It was a 2-shot, and I'm not cutting away from it. And then it reveals that they're on a tour, a guided tour. And so that was another thing, like, working with the client, like, all right, well, we got to reveal this tour guide. And so together we were happy with, oh, we're going to hear that audio off screen, and then we'll cut to the tour guide, and then we'll show that they're like actually on this tour. And so that was a way to kind of like for me to flex my filmmaking skills and create a voice of like, how am I going to get in between all these story beats that were dictated by the client, but it was up to me as like the skilled technician or whatever to make it creative and really cool and flow and work.
I remember when we were first having our intro call, we had like a nice little discussion about agency work versus just going out and getting your own clients. So I just want to bring that up here. Like your viewpoint was that you want to target more agencies. You want to just talk about your reasoning for that?
Yeah, I love working with agencies. Now, I'll say that not all agencies are created equally. There are many out there that tend to fumble the ball, and they think they're not, and you just kind of have to bite your lip or bite your tongue or whatever. Not bite your lip. That'd be a different scenario. But yeah. So so that can be stressful. But my point of view is like, if Nike is doing a commercial, they're not just gonna hit up Noble Bison Productions. They're not just gonna call Laps. They're not gonna be like, hey guys, we've got $500,000 for our next big campaign. Want to do it? They're going to go through a marketing agency. And then it's going to be that marketing agency's job to find the right production company to partner with them to bring all of that vision to life. So to me, agency work typically means bigger, better projects that have a higher budget and a higher scope and a higher ability, possibility, and sometimes even more stylistic. I find that a lot of smaller companies are really shy about doing anything that's outside of the box. Like they want it to look like everything else, you know, like, well, we know that this company down the road, they did this like really bright, like cheesy thing and it worked for them. And that's just like what we want to do. So, and like I said earlier, we've been really fortunate that I have not had to battle that too much. It of course does happen, you know, where they like really want to dictate even like the image and all these things, and you don't even really feel like you're just kind of like a passenger, you know, like, okay, sure, I'll like make your thing, and like that's fine. But
Yeah.
you know, that's part of being in a business, part of making money. That's, you know, so that's to be expected. But the point is, with the agency work, I feel like there's generally more opportunity to have some style and actually like really get your hands dirty with some like really cool work.
Yeah, it's just really true that sometimes like some smaller companies they do tend to play it a little bit more safe, but the reasoning for that usually is because the money that they're putting in is taking a lot more out of them than, say, for example, a lot of these bigger agency companies like Nike. Obviously, them throwing 500,000 for an ad is like a drop in the bucket for them. Whereas if a smaller company was even to put like 10,000 or 15,000, that could be potentially their entire marketing budget for the entire year, even sometimes. And
Totally.
they know they need the video, so they're trying to, because they also have to prove it to their bosses of why we need to do the video. Like we need to show examples of it working, and so you're right. It's a completely different ball game, completely different mindset when you're working with them.
Another additional reason too is because companies like Nike, for example, they've already done all the safe videos.
Yeah, they've already done it. Yeah,
They've done everything already. So they do have the opportunity to experiment and try different things. And I mean, they're also in a position where they do need to push the boundaries to get more attention, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
all
And
that makes sense. Totally. I just want to be, I want to be lined up for the videos that are pushing the boundaries. That,
Yeah.
you know, like that's cool. I'm not judging anyone for making, you know,
For sure.
normal run of the mill videos. So, and of course we make that kind of stuff. We make brightly lit, you know, just like standard. And I'm proud of it. I'm happy with it. I like it. But as a filmmaker, I'm like, I want to go do something grittier. I want to do something that's like,
You want
You
to
know.
flex like your creative muscles and like,
yeah,
everyone wants to. Yeah.
Totally. So to bring it all back, yeah, that's why I kind of like the agencies, and you know, we try to reach out like quarterly to different agents, you know, any agency that we haven't previously talked to, whether they're here in Denver, or we try to cast our net even further, try to look for some surrounding states, you know, maybe LA, maybe New York, you know, who knows? Actually, our first commercial that we did was through an agency out in New York, so they came out here and shot, and so that was our first commercial as Noble Bison.
Nice. I was actually gonna ask you, like, because you're focusing on just agencies mostly to do work, it's a very different kind of relationship building and outreach model compared to, like, say, trying to find direct to clients, you know, who might find you through Google, right? Usually you go through SEO a lot of the time in that case. So
Oh
what
yeah, we
have
do
you
that
guys?
too.
Oh, and okay,
Mhm.
that's great. Obviously, like, to put your foot in like a few different camps is great. I was actually curious though, like, how do you go more about like relationship building with agencies specifically? Is there like certain people you're constantly targeting, or certain people that you're trying to build more long-term relationships with? Like, what's your approach with that?
Man, I in terms of like maintaining the relationship, sure, that's great. Like it's just follow up emails. Hey guys, like how's it going? How did that video do for you? Like how was the reception? You know, that's all easy stuff. Just like, hey, you know, how's it going? If you guys have anything coming up, you know, we'd love a chance to bid on it and work together. We really enjoyed working with you. Yeah, that's the easy part. And some of the agency people are awesome. Like there's one dude, like I could call him up pretty much anytime I want, and we could probably just chat and probably not even talk about work. So great relationship with him. And that's awesome when you can find that. But it
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily equate to us getting the job, because we've lost work to other companies from him. So, you know, but yeah, I do my best to keep the relationship strong and just be like a resource and a good pal and a good person that, you know, hopefully they'll want to work with again. In terms of acquiring those relationships, now that's kind of the kicker here, and that's hard. And I don't know. I mean, it's probably everywhere, but at least my experience in Denver has proven that the agencies out here tend to use the same production companies for every commercial. So it's like this like club, you know, and this like and we haven't been invited yet. And so it's like figuring out how do we get invited, but then also, do I want to be invited? Maybe it's better to spend my resources and our time reaching out to other agencies that haven't really done anything in Denver yet, and we could be their, you know, choice provider, right? So that's been my new thing that I've been wrestling with. Like, maybe I shouldn't be trying to compete with the other production companies, but blazing my own trail, finding my own connections and agencies. But the process is kind of the same. You know, it's looking them up, getting on Google, you know, marketing agencies, Denver, marketing agencies, where you guys, Quebec, you know?
No.
So
Ontario.
Ontario, yeah. So watch out. Yeah, we're coming for your marketing agencies. You should have just told me Quebec, then you wouldn't have to worry about me.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. But no, yeah. So you look them up and you just we've done everything from, you know, just doing the like contact us now forms to like literally like like secret agent work of like typing in their names with like the email and like waiting for Google to like show you their picture.
Tell you if it.
Yeah. So like we've tried everything under the sun to like try to get through these people. And it's just like, hey guys, like we're Noble Vice Productions. Here's some work that we've done. We would love an opportunity to bid on your next project or your next commercial, right? And most of the time they don't respond. But all you can do is just keep trying, because you're not going to get it if you don't try. So
Out of all the times you've applied,
it's cold sales.
yeah, I was gonna say like with cold sales, it really is a numbers game. So have you found like if you've continually doing it, you must have had some decent success though through that, right?
Depends, Carol. It's for like every 100 leads you got one, right? So
Well, that's what I'm asking. Like some people it works, some people it doesn't. Some people a little bit more so than others. It really depends. But I'm just curious.
this is why I prefer like direct to client, because I feel like it's easier with the agencies, like because like you're still going to be bidding on projects at the end of the day, right? Even if they have their roster of like 3 companies they go through, you're still competing for the same thing. And versus like if you have direct to client,
why not both?
like you, as long as they're happy with you, they're going to keep using you.
Yeah, but why not
Like,
both?
it's a long-term thing.
Why not both?
Both I think is great as well. I think if you can dedicate enough time to doing both. I mean, if you're running a business, basically, like, is this worth my time? Like, if I close this, will it make sense financially, right? So if that calculation works, then yeah, like I mean, you got to test out every avenue anyways, right? When you're running a business,
Yeah.
like SEO, ads, cold outreach, you got to do everything.
Yeah, man.
And-
I would say it does. Sorry, I just
And it's interesting you mentioned about how like there's the cool club, you know, of like the few agencies that work with the same group of people all the time, and you know it kind of makes sense because you know once you've worked with certain people and you understand each other's flow, it's a lot easier to go through processes with new projects, new clients, new leads, and you all understand how you all work together,
Yep.
right? It's like looking at other production companies, like when potentially we were freelancing back in the day, you know, like there are certain companies that only work with their guys. They might occasionally come to you if everyone's busy, and then that's how you kind of get your foot in the door. Like I find usually breaking into new networks usually comes from those situations when the regular people are all busy, but the work is still coming in and they need to get that filled somewhere. Getting that first project done with someone new is always a good thing, because then that opens up the pool a little bit. It's like how we are trying to test out new editors to jump on board to work with us at Laps. I'm always telling Dario, it's like, hey, we got this one guy here. I want to test him out on a project. Let's see what new leads come through that we can test them out. Just get that project under the belt, see how they work, and then we can figure out how that relationship will be going forward. And then it's like, great, now we have another means of going through. But yeah, it's tough to break through. So it's fair enough for you to kind of look at other agencies like that are within the area or around the area of, instead of like the main guys, right?
Yeah, totally. And you're absolutely right. And I hope that that's like the experience that we have with our agencies. And I would say hit or miss, you know. But yeah, definitely not knocking that. And I guess that is kind of how recently I'm like, well, maybe I need to stop like expecting them to decide that they don't want to use Laps, right? And they want to use Noble Bison, right? So instead of that, instead of waiting for something that's likely not going to happen, because all the production companies around here are great. So it's like, I'm not expecting any of them to drop the ball.
There's actually a lot of great companies in Denver. Like when I was making my list for outreach, I was like, oh my God, there's like 15 companies on this list, which is pretty high compared to a lot of the other cities I was going through.
Yeah. Denver's killing it in the production company world. I don't know. Yeah, we've got some really great companies out here, and they're run by some really awesome people, and everyone's like, you know, doing a good job and making really cool content. So it is a little bit competitive like that, but again, like I said, it's like, so that leaves me like, all right, well, we're somewhat newer of a company in Denver, and so maybe it's not so much just waiting on those companies to drop the ball, but looking for our own path, our own community, you know, to do.
I feel like you'll get those opportunities, like
Yeah.
but I feel like the problem is you need the portfolio to be able to get those opportunities, right? But now the problem becomes, how do I get that portfolio, right? 'Cause you need the agencies to take a chance on you to be able to get
Totally.
that's the tricky part.
Yeah, well, I can tell you what I think about that, and this is a hot take. If you had like
Let's hear
those
it.
like
Let's get
soundboards, like
ready.
now would be the time to like, you've got like the frying pan or something like.
Hot take.
Yeah, dude.
I think I
totally.
do have
Yeah.
sound effects here. So.
Yeah, dude. You guys got to get on the soundboard game.
Hold on,
Love it.
there is sound effects here. Hold on.
It's like the pre-made Riverside ones, though.
Hell yeah, hit me with it.
Did you guys hear that or no?
No.
No, I didn't hear
Oh,
anything,
really?
no.
There was a drum roll effect.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
I can do
no.
live. Hold on. There's live.
There we go.
All right, hot take number one.
Hot take. So my hot take is, if you know that there's a certain type of work that you want to get, whether that's commercials or whether that's like, maybe it's sports, maybe you love like mountain biking, like that's a big industry out here for Colorado, mountain biking, you know, obviously skiing, snowboarding, you know, that would be another example, right? And what you said is true. If you don't have that work on your website, and an agency or a direct client is looking at your website, they're not gonna trust you. Well, I don't see any mountain bike videos, so why would I hire you? This other company, Laps, well, they've got 3 different mountain bike videos, so yeah, I'm gonna use them. They know what they're doing, right? So the question is, well, how do I get that work without having it to show? And my answer is, you gotta eat it. You just got to do it, because if that's ultimately what you're trying to do, you got to have that work, and it's going to suck. So you either pay for it out of your pocket to do it as like a spec ad, and now you can show that you're able to do it, or you get a budget from, you know, you get lucky with a agency or a direct client who's like, I want to do this thing, and you see it and you're like, oh, I know what this can be, and I know that this is like really like going to be really beneficial for us, and like we really need this. Just throw all of that budget right at the video. Don't make, you know, maybe you can make like $1,000 or $2,000 or something, right? Like depending on how much money there is, but like don't worry about making profit. Just make a good product, because then that product now becomes your asset as well. It's like effectively becoming your commercial too, and then that helps you get the next 1, 2, 3, 4 projects, and then you can start charging them what you want, or taking a higher cut out of, you know, the budget. but like you got to get that work. You got to get that work on your reel and on your website so that they know that you're capable of doing it.
I completely agree. And you know, the funny thing is that I know why you say that that it's a big hot take is because a lot of people in our industry, when they hear the classic saying, you know, just do a spec ad, you know, get portfolio pieces and stuff like that. There's kind of like a negative connotation with that where it's like people are saying that you should be doing work for free. And I think the best way to go about it is actually to reframe your thinking instead of putting it in from the aspect of like, oh, you know, just do some free work to get some like portfolio pieces. Think of it as you are putting in a marketing budget for yourself. It's part of your marketing strategy. It's like, all right, we're looking for these types of projects to get through, but we need to create content to kind of use to pitch, right? Sometimes it could be, you know, like informational videos that you might do for your business. It could be, you know, other corporate style videos that you want to do, but this is another avenue that you can go for. So I think it's just a matter of reframing your thinking in that aspect where it's not meant to be like, look, we want to work with you because we need portfolio pieces. It's like, hey, this is one aspect. We're trying to promote ourselves a little bit more and we need work like this. Would you be interested in partnering with us? You know,
I think he was saying, I think he
mindset.
was saying though, like lower your prices, but
No.
not actually. Oh, you guys. Oh, so you guys.
I
No,
wasn't
no, no.
like-
Just to clarify, you guys are saying like do it on the arm, basically.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I'm saying
that's what he's saying. Yeah.
if they
Oh, I
hit you up
disagree with
with,
that.
we have a budget of X, I'm saying take budget of X and put it into the project.
Oh, so there's still money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now,
Okay.
now I kind of said two different things. So there was one where I mentioned you could do a spec job so that's the
Yeah.
option where, well, no one's emailing me, even giving me the opportunity to take budget of X and put all of X into the budget. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then that's where you go, all right, well, then maybe we'll do a spec ad. So Noble Bison has been fortunate that we have not needed to do a spec ad, but we have taken commercials where we've charged X budget. We knew what their budget was for the ad, and we just put it all, or at least 95% of it, right, into the ad to make sure that we had all the grips we needed, all the right cameras, the right DP, all that stuff. Because we know that we need to look legit. And you guys were just saying about how steep the competition is out here. So, like, if we're going to play ball, we got to really, like, step it up. And when we're trying to grow our portfolio, grow our image, grow all that stuff, like, for me, that was, like, necessary.
Yeah. Like I like that. I mean that's I think that's a normal thing to do, right?
Yeah.
I think doing work for that client for free, I would completely disagree with that.
No, I'm not
that
saying do it for
Kirill.
free. I'm saying take their
Yeah.
budget and just...
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm technically working for free because I didn't get paid.
Yeah.
But my
Right.
whole G&E team got paid. My DP got paid. You know, we got
Right.
Alexa, we got Cook Anamorphics or whatever, right? Like, you know.
That to me makes sense. Like I think
Yeah.
if the client has no budget, then at that point, I would rather go the spec ad route and create something myself, and then I would go back
Yeah.
to them and say, you can get the same thing. This is how much it'll cost, because you already have the video at that point. You already have the product to sell, right?
Yeah, like spec ads, you should do it for yourself, not so much for other companies.
Yeah.
If you're going to go that route, because then you have full creative control. That's the whole point of doing spec work, is that you're letting your creativity go. You should never do pure spec work with clients, unless like you're literally just starting out and you just like need to get like one video for.
There better
for,
be like a
nothing or
benefit,
something,
like
but-
you guys sign
like
a
some
deal
kind
where
of
it's
benefit,
like,
yeah.
like there better be a benefit. It's like, okay, we'll do this one, but we like if it's well received, you get like we're putting it in the contract right now, like we get X amount of it. But I don't know, like you might as well just do the spec ad on your own, have total
Yeah.
freedom, creative control, and then pitch that to other companies. That's what I would do.
Like we did as an example, we did a project about was it like 6 years ago where it was like for this wind tunnel that we were working with, and they wanted to create a promotional video for this wingsuit skydiver, right? Something that we were going to shoot over the course of 3 days. And we thought that this could be a great opportunity to kind of create more of a short documentary, which we wanted to get in our portfolio as well. And they gave us the budget that we had to work with. And then we said, okay, for this, we'll still do it. We'll put our time and effort into it. Like basically all the post-production was on the arm. We basically did at that point. Like we got some stuff covered, but to your point, You do that, you get a new portfolio piece, you sink your teeth into something new, you learn, and then you have now a new piece that you can promote to other companies. So there definitely is a good way, a good element to that, where even sometimes just pitching a different idea that might be a bit more complex, but if it's going to get you a new portfolio piece and the client wants to play ball, why not, right? It's a good avenue to do that. One thing you also mentioned is that the competition is obviously crazy in Denver. Have you built some kind of collaborative relationships with any other companies where, like if there's spillover work on either end, you guys can help each other out or something like that, or anything like that? Or does everyone kind of see each other as pure competition there?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how everyone else feels about it. I will say that Noble Bison doesn't have spillover work yet, so we have nothing to offer in that. I would be happy to hit up, anyone in Denver and make that kind of deal. But I mean, we take and service every job that comes through our inbox right now. So if we had more work, then that could be a different thing. But yeah, we're not quite there yet. We're close, but we're not quite there yet. So if I can offer it, then that's, I'm certainly open to it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah,
let's talk.
Yeah, go
Sorry,
ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm pretty much all done on that one.
Okay. I guess it wasn't a good question you're about to ask.
It's all good.
I'm messing. Let's talk a bit about you and your partner. Like, how do you guys split responsibilities?
Tim handles a lot of the logistics, like call sheets. He handles like the first and maybe second interactions with potential clients. So it's kind of like once we kind of know that this job's going through, then that's when I kind of step in and kind of get the remaining logistics, and then we submit our official proposal. And
So he's like the sales guy, basically?
yeah, more or less. He does sales, but he does more than that too. So he's more than just a sales guy, because he's on set too.
Right.
He helps out on set. He he helps with like the location scouting. He's kind of like a project manager on set as well. So he's usually there with the clients and making sure that they're happy, while I'm there with the crew, making sure that the crew's happy and has everything they need. So yeah, I mean, between the two of us, we get it done.
Nice. What do you guys do for like the post end? You guys do that in-house, use freelancers?
It's all in-house, and you're looking at the house right now, Bubba.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we've moved to strictly using, well, for the most part, strictly using freelancers.
Nice. Yeah.
It's saved up a lot of time.
I hope to get there soon. Again, it's kind of like similar to what I was saying about, we don't have the influx of work quite yet for that to make sense. I can handle it all, and also, like I said, I like between Tim and I's split of responsibilities, like he takes a lot of the stuff that, like I have him there in my pocket to do that, so that I can also take care of post. And then when the jobs start to get further along the line, then I can jump in and take on that job and then finish the one before it. And it's just this like continuous cycle of, close one out, bring one in.
Have you had the chance or the opportunity to actually bring on an editor just to kind of test the waters a little bit? Sorry,
Clear
build
your
some
throat. You
relationship.
sound like a dying man.
Sorry, one second.
I liked it.
That's a new voiceover option for
Yeah.
us.
It's the new voiceover that I'm gonna pitch for the next video. But like, have you had the opportunity to test it out with any new any editors before, or have you just strictly stuck to the two of you?
We've used an editor a few times, and it's been nice for sure. Yeah.
Dude, it's gonna free up so much of your time. Like,
Totally. I agree.
Yeah.
I'd love to. But man, like we got bills to pay, bro. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Yeah.
You want it
Oh,
more
we
than
get
I
it.
do. Tim wants it more than I do. I'm like, guys, like I'm good. Like I've been editing for a long time. Like I'm efficient. And also, like, and I know Daria, you and I kind of talked about this, but like there's an element of like my creative fingerprint like is also in the edit, and like obviously, a good editor can match that or like learn that pretty quickly. But that's another thing that gives me a little bit of what I'm trying to say is, but it makes me feel a little weary about the whole process. But again, it's really, the real answer is we just need more work. So when we have a little bit more work, then we can afford that, and that's gonna be awesome. And I can't wait. I'm gonna call you, Dario, and I'm gonna be like, dude, I'm using an editor. I'm gonna send you a bottle of bourbon or something. Something American that you don't have in Canada.
Oh yeah, we're in.
I wonder
Do you have
what-
Oreos?
A good economy. A good economy.
Do we have Oreos? I love that question. I love that question. Maybe we should send you, or is it the US or us,
Kirill,
Kinder Eggs?
Kinder Eggs. I
No,
love
no,
Kinder
no,
Eggs.
no, Kirill. That whiskey, the
Oh, Tennessee
the
whiskey.
caramel whiskey. Yeah,
Yeah,
that thing was.
I went to
good.
Nashville about 2 years ago, and I brought back this peanut butter whiskey from Tennessee Brewworks or something. I
So
think it was
good.
called.
That's good. Yeah.
And like it was like something completely new. But I remember when we were there, my fiance and I, we were trying all these different ones, but the craziest one I tried was a watermelon one.
Oh.
It was like a watermelon whiskey, and it was like drinking a Jolly Rancher. It was really good, but very
That
dangerous.
sounds
I
terrible.
found.
I hate everything about that. But I'm
It's
happy you
like,
like
trust
it.
me, it's good to have like a sip, maybe just to try it. I wouldn't buy a whole bottle of that though.
No, yeah.
But the peanut butter one, that one
The
was
peanut
really
butter
good.
one
I
was
tried to
amazing.
I tried to find. I started to notice some peanut butter whiskeys that they had here in Canada, but
not
I'm
the
like, this
same.
is not the same.
Yeah.
There was one called Nut Bar, and I'm like, no, this is
Just the name alone.
Nut
just
bar.
the name alone does not sound appetizing at all.
On
But,
on the editor front, I think maybe you've been a little like slow to do that because I guess you really like it because everyone else that we know that we've talked about, the first thing they do is like bring on freelance editors to at least take that load off their end because I guess we don't like to edit as much as you like to edit. You must love
Well,
it. Like everyone we
Dario,
know.
I know
Shut
why.
your mouth, Dario. I do not like editing. It's the worst. It's terrible.
the
It sounds
difference-
like you love it, man.
Yeah, man. You know what? I love editing.
gotta-
It's awesome.
It's a love-hate thing for him. But I mean, also he's also working on more project. Most of his projects are a little bit more creative in that sense, where sometimes a lot of like we have a lot of corporate work that comes through our end, and it's a lot of very straightforward, kind of simple videos. Sometimes they're like quarterly reports, AGMs, or simple corporate promotional videos, which
Yeah, we don't do
you
any
can
of
be
that.
creative sometimes with that. But the problem is it does take a lot of time, and funny enough, it's actually good to sometimes delegate it to the editors because then they're handling like maybe like one or two projects, and then if like another project comes through, then you can kind of handle that. Like I'm like the last defense for editing for the business, right? That way, if like something last minute comes or something a little bit more urgent that needs help, like I can jump on board for that. Meanwhile, we have certain editors working on projects that will take time, and then we know that it's still happening while we're working on these other ones. But
Or if it's very basic, like sometimes
or
like
if
if it's
it's-
so basic, I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, let's just do it in house. Like it's not worth.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
if
sending
it's
it
something
out.
faster,
Yeah, well, I guess I'm like, okay, so two things. Well, one is like, it depends on the scope of the job. Like, if it's something basic like that,
Yeah.
and let's say you have, just to make it easy, you have a $10,000 budget for that, right? And like, okay, well, the company can recoup 5 of that, and then we can throw 3 on an editor and whatever. You've got the remaining 2 for any unforeseen expenses, right? So like that's easy. But like if you're doing something where you have crew and you've got 10,000, well, now I need like $4,000 for crew and equipment and all that, like, so those margins get real thin. And with there being so much competition out here, it's really easy to be underbid. So I don't want to sacrifice the quality of our image just so that I can like hire an editor. And I'm not, that's not pointed at you guys. That's just me like reflecting on my own experience. And so, but I think the kicker here is it just depends on what the project is. Because I'm totally with you. If it's something super simple like that, and it's like a healthy budget and we can make money and we can hire an editor, like I'm totally down for that. But then there's also the like other side of that where it's like, well, but we could also make more money and like just really keep our our accounts healthy and save for a rainy day or whatever. So it's just this like really tough dance that we do. If we had more consistent work coming through the door, then it wouldn't be so hard to make that sacrifice. But right now we're just not, like, we're so close, but we're not quite there. But what I will say that you'll be happy to hear is we've done a few events this year, and God, there's nothing I hate more than an event. Like shooting an event, editing an event. It's the
Really?
Oh my God, I hate it so much.
I love it. It's so easy.
Okay.
You just yeah, Jeffrey, go on. Tell us more. Like, so what is it about events specifically that you don't like?
Everything. What do you?
I know
like?
what he doesn't like.
What do you
I know
like
what you don't
about
like.
shooting
It's
an event?
I know what you don't like
You like
about
being
it.
treated
It's
like
not creative.
You like being treated like crap by CEO douchebags. Like, you like that?
I've never had that
Oh,
issue.
man,
Actually.
almost
We haven't
every
had that
single
issue.
Really?
Maybe I'm just like a disagreeable person and people don't like me. I don't know, but yeah, we just did one, and I felt like I was like, they kicked us in the ass, man. It was brutal. It was rough.
Really?
And like the organization just isn't there. They want everything. It's also the land of scope creep. Like, hey, we signed this contract for these things.
I will agree on
You know,
what you on
oh,
that.
but like, can you guys come get this shot, or can you have your photographer do 1 million headshots of our entire team? You know, like, it's scope creep everywhere you look, and it puts you in the position in a really terrible position, because if I say something, now I'm a dick. Now, like, maybe they don't want to work with us, or like I damage the relationship. You know, it really, there's just like a lot of potential repercussions if you like really stand your ground with that, and so you have to like really be careful about when you say something, and it's just brutal, man. And then you're shooting for like what, 12-hour days of like just shooting the whole time. There's like not really like a storyboard or like a shot list, and you're just like shooting people like drinking wine and like talking about like quarterly reports or something.
He's shooting the wrong stuff.
Oh, these are the events we get, baby.
Someone hurt him, man.
Yeah, these are the events we get, dude. Maybe
So-
they play
so we-
cornhole, you know? Like, I can't tell
What's
you.
cornhole?
Oh, dude. Cornhole is you have this little sandbag, and you toss it usually underhand across the way to a little platform that's like slanted.
Oh,
it's got
yeah,
a
yeah,
hole.
I played that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, Dario.
So yeah,
Okay.
like that's the event shooting that we get, at least, and it sucks. So the whole point was not to get in a battle about whether events suck or don't suck, which they do. Was to just tell you that in terms
I
of
love him for the
that
record.
work that we take now, we're at the point now where I'm like, all right, Tim, I'm not shooting these and I'm not editing these. Like, we're gonna charge more, and we're just gonna hire out, and that's gonna be the end of it. So that's
Man, for me, I'm total opposite, because for me, they're so easy to film, and like they're done so much faster than regular videos, so we get our money so much sooner. Like, I will agree with you with the scope creep, because we do experience that, and we do have a little bit of leeway for that, but then I kind of don't mind it, because once it gets past like the leeway point, then I just apply like high pressure sales on that. It's like, okay, so it'll cost this much extra. Can you send the updated contract right now, so then we can approve it?
Yeah.
That's how I do it, and like I've never gotten a lot of pushback on that, because usually when they come up with more stuff, a little bit of it is like, can you help us out? And then I make it seem like, oh, just for you, whatever. But once it gets past that point, that's when you can go like, okay, can you quickly approve the budget?
Mm-hmm.
That's like, as soon as, I think if maybe you change your wording with that, it might help out a bit.
They understand costs are also associated with things, and also don't be afraid to say like, it's like, oh yeah, we could definitely help you with that. Like, to do this extra video or the service will cost this much more, because we have to bring. You don't even really have to explain.
You
it.
don't
They
have
will
to explain
understand.
it, but like when you're doing
yeah.
this stuff, like you can do anything. There's just a price tag attached to
Totally.
it. So if they're cool with the price tag, then
Yeah.
greenlight it. I always put the onus on them to go forward with it.
Yeah.
It's like, I can do it. It's going to cost this much extra. Do you want to do it?
Yeah, and let the record show we actually have done that. I guess my point is,
Oh, and
like,
you got pushback on that?
no, we didn't get pushback, but I guess my point I'm trying to make is like, it just puts you it puts us like in a weird position because we don't like to we don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to ruffle the feathers. We don't want to give them any reason to like I don't know, because it's like, does it reflect poor like just all the different ways that can be taken, and that's like where we get a little nervous because we don't want to rock the boat in any unnecessary way.
Well, I mean, look, if you
So-
go buy a car and you want to start, you're selling a car, for example, right? And they start to like, they want add-ons. They got to pay extra for it, right? Like, it's not like a weird thing. Like that for you should be like fantastic. I get a bigger cut now.
Yeah, but they already signed a contract. Like they already did. Like the job has already gone through, right? Like
Yeah, but not for everything that they wanted, right? Like,
true. But why couldn't we have communicated that better prior to it? Like, is that on me? Like, is that on us for not
No.
like, you know what I mean?
No,
I
it's
understand what I'm
normal.
saying. I guess I'm just kind of I'm like being annoying and playing the devil's advocate right now.
No. This
No,
is
that's
a
fine.
good thing. This is a good thing to kind of discuss actually, because I mean things change like with a lot of like companies over time, because sometimes new ideas come up, things get adjusted, and then that's why Dario is saying sometimes it's good for that, because then if they really want something and they know it's going to cost more, they're going to find the budget for it. A lot of these
Yeah.
events, they're already spending 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 on the event itself, and if it's something that's really important and they need, they will pay for it. Dario did mention there is sometimes little leeway. Like for example, if the video you paid for was like an event video that was like a minute or like 2 minutes or so, but it ends up being like 2 minutes 15, 2 minutes 30, just a little bit extra. It's like that's a little bit of leeway, in the edit or
Or
something.
leeway,
not a big
like
deal.
like you were
Like-
supposed to stay till like 6 and they need you till 8. It's
Yeah.
like it's fine. Like stuff like that is fine. But upselling
Yeah.
is like the best part about
Yeah.
like
Sweet.
projects.
All right,
you know?
well,
And
we'll
the
hire
other-
you for our events, Daria. Sounds like you're the event shark that we need on our team.
Sure.
It's also
As
a
long as I get my
mindset
cut.
thing.
No,
It's also like an approach thing, right? Like if they're coming to you with the scope creep, and then if you just kind of are nonchalant about it and say like, yeah, that's not a problem, this is just how much it'll cost extra or anything like that, and be very direct and straight with it,
Yeah.
it usually is not going to be an issue. Like I think it's like if you try to go from the approach of like, like wasn't what we talked about, this, it might have to cost like this, it's
Upselling-
kind of like,
Upselling is like something you could do it's the best part. Like even when you're doing like a regular project, like you're talking about your commercials, like let's say you sign them on for 10 G's or whatever,
Yeah.
like after they're signed on and you're going through the whole pre-production process, that's another like stage where you can add more cost to their budget, right? Like, okay, you guys did in fact, we didn't factor in like an extra, like a studio rent. It's going to be like $1,000. And then, like we have all these people here, but we don't have like a makeup artist, like we're already spending this much. Why not just spend like $500 extra at a makeup artist
Yeah.
in there? Like there's so many like different points where you can add more things to it.
Yeah.
Like it's not, I don't see it usually as being like a bad thing because, like, oh, we initially agreed on this. There's like, yeah, we agreed on this. And then there's optionals, like, and now we're at the stage where we can do the optionals shopping, right? Like,
it's not meant to be predatory. It's not meant to be predatory or anything like that. It's just like, because like in a lot of the time things change in pre-production, new ideas come up, and like maybe like what you guys are talking about in the initial stages, it's like, this is what we're thinking about doing. And then the client might say like, oh, can we do it in this type of setting instead of that type of setting? It's like, oh, well, we didn't talk about it, but if you
Yeah,
want to do
totally.
something like that, it'll require this. And because you want to shoot it like this, we need to hire this type of person as well. And then you kind of just present it to them. Like stuff changes all the time, and like the idea is not to be afraid of change, just kind of embrace it, and then and just show it's like, yeah, like be very open with the clients, and it could be different like that. It could obviously maybe be a little different also when you're working with agencies, because they might have like a very specific budget that they've like set, and then it's like figure out how to work with it with the limitations. Obviously there are some situations like that where there's a hard budget, can't go over it, figure out how to make it work with that budget. Completely understandable. But there is sometimes potential, especially this is why I guess Dario and I do like working with clients directly sometimes, because we kind of there's a lot more opportunity for that in kind of like fluctuating budgets here and there sometimes. But yeah, it really varies and depends.
So
it doesn't agree.
yeah, well, I have some thoughts, and I'm trying to decide if it's worth like just letting the conversation move on to the next topic, or if I should get in here and get dirty and put my boxing mitts on.
It's up to you.
No, I'm going
It's
to.
up to you. Go for it.
Yeah, no. So I totally agree with you on the event stuff. So like if you're at an event and and those things happen, and like I said, we have done that. We just did that. We charge them for overtime. We charge them this and that. So like the point I guess making was I just don't like the position that it puts me in. It makes me feel weird. Maybe that's why I have Tim.
Fair enough.
Now in terms of like, you guys keep saying agencies, but we do direct client work too, man. And in terms of direct client, we've got Laps Productions wants us to do a $15,000 video. And it's, the way I view it, it is my responsibility as the professional to account for all of those costs. If there's a hair and makeup person or a location charge that was not put on that estimate, like that sucks. I failed my job. Like, I'm sorry, but like I'm that some of that wording, maybe it was like just the example that you gave, just threw me on that one, but
To clarify, like we do put that in the RFP as optionals. So we say like based on your budget, like we like because we like to give them option like several
you're
estimates
like, hey,
and
here's
say
here's the budget you gave me, here's what we can provide. Yeah,
we're not talking about stuff out of left field. Like it's never we agree with you that you have a responsibility to try to keep everything within that budget based on what is being discussed. It's like we just let them know it's like there's so many different ways we can go about it. You know, we could do it like this, like this, like this. But if you want to aim to do it within this budget, this is what you can get for it. And then as we kind of dig into it, they might realize like, oh, maybe that other approach might have been a little bit better. Let's go with that one instead. You know, that's the approach.
Yeah, because our pricing is very transparent. Like it's on our site and everything, so they're free to check it out. And then we just let them know it's like, yeah, based on your budget, like this is what you can get. If you want to push a little bit more, this is estimate 2. And then if you want to go all out, here's the premium version. And then again, depending on what they choose, like we bring it up again during pre-production. It's like, hey, you know, like, do you be still interested in that or no? Like it usually depends. Like for us, we like to show them the options and not pressure them into any, just let them choose of their own volition, right? So it's like, if you want, we're ready at this stage, you want to add this in, it's only this much, like, what do you want to do?
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Don't worry, no boxing here. We're on the same team here. No, I like this though. I like trying to kind of like discuss these ideas a little bit more and just like argue.
You know what I wanted to touch on is because you have a lot of like good competition. Like how do you navigate around that? Because if it's like I feel like it's different if it's like, okay, there's like depending on what your market positioning is, you got like maybe 2 other competitors and you kind of know what their USPs are, like maybe one of them like low balls but the quality's not there versus you, like you're in the middle but your quality's good. Like what do you do when like everyone's kind of like on their A game and you guys are roughly charging like what you know you should be charging, but you know that the other person might know? Like it's like you're playing a game of poker and everyone's good.
Yeah.
And you don't know what the other guy's got in his hand.
It's tough, man, and I try not to think about it, honestly. We put in the bid that we think is best for that project and hope that, you know, the other companies are around the same price. It's really nice when you know the budget. Oh, we've got a budget of 15 grand. We've got a budget of 50 grand. We've got a budget of 150 grand. Like, so that helps to know. So like everyone's kind of in the same world, you know, it's not like us, but you know, proposing $100,000 budget while Laps is proposing a $30,000 budget. But then sometimes when we lose out on the lowball quotes, sometimes it sucks because it sucks to always lose work, but sometimes you have to remind yourself, well, maybe I didn't really want to work with them to begin with, you know, and I should specify that this has happened where they'll say, oh, we've got a budget of, let's say 50 grand. And we send them a proposal that's at 50 grand or maybe 48 grand or something, right? Like we're using their money. We're putting it to all these things. And our prices are transparent as well. You can see what we're making. You can see what all the contractors make. Oh, we want this other company that they were just a little lower than you, right? So then it's like, that just kind of tells me like a little bit about them. And it is what it is, and you know, it is try not to get too distraught by it. And you just hope that the clients will choose based on the quality of the work and like the company themselves, maybe the way they felt talking to you. Which, to run it back to Tim, shout out to him. He's so good at that. He is way nicer than I am, way friendlier than I am. So he is really great at like getting the clients in the door and making them feel really good, and that's awesome. So that's his strength for sure. So yeah, and you just hope that that's how you win, right? Is based on those things.
I was gonna ask, like, since you're bidding a lot of the time with a lot of these same companies, and in terms of competition, like, how extensive is your bidding process in terms of like what you propose? Like, do you propose like at least a little bit of creative with the budget in mind, or just simply like, this is what we're aiming to create, this is the creative that we will provide, da 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 da, or do you just go all out on a creative based on that and just kind of present that? Like, what have you found has like been most successful for you?
So, like I said, I mean, when it comes to agencies and like a broadcast ad in general, there's really not a whole lot of creative to be done. It's already done. They have storyboards.
Right.
Now, the creative will come with like your set design, maybe making your color palette, choosing your camera, putting in your camera moves. So like those are things that I put into our bids, you know. Oh, here's like a director's treatment. Like I'll throw in a director's treat. So here's your board, here's your next board. The way I want to do this is like do this dolly push in, and then it's gonna like reveal here, and like I'll provide the glue. You know, they've got the bones, and then I'm gonna put everything together, and now it's a thing. So that's kind of how I look at it. And I just kind of put that all under director's treatment. Sometimes that's easier or harder depending on how much information you get. I mean, man, we've been requested to bid on stuff where it's like, I don't know hardly anything about it, and like they're like, this is all we have, and just tell us what the, you know, like it's like they just put so much like unrealistic expectations on you at times, and that's both agencies and direct client. That's not just agency alone. So
Yep.
so that's not.
Do you have like calls with them just to like clarify things?
We try to.
Yeah.
It doesn't always happen, but we
Mm,
always
yeah.
do. Yeah. And in fact, like I was saying earlier, like Tim will be the first on the call, and then he'll get a lot of the information. And then I've got like a million more other more logistical, like, okay, well, let's talk about like the tone, and like, you know, like I get way more into it, where Tim is like more surface level. And then that's when I get with them. And that's generally, we find that even though that's a lot of phone calls, it's an opportunity for us to spend more time with them, talking to them, and it feels like we're building rapport that way. So
Yeah, and the other good thing when you do that is you're asking them questions and things that probably they haven't thought of, or other companies haven't thought of asking them either.
we get that
And that's a good way sometimes to stand out.
we get that feedback a lot, actually, that we go,
and then you're doing it
yeah,
right.
that we go above and beyond the other companies in town to take good care of all of the details and the planning. And so that's like our claim to fame right now, or at least for us, is like our planning and our producing and everything is like really to the
Attention
point.
to detail.
Yeah, I'm a type A personality, so like I'm like not okay with like chaotic, like that kind of stuff. Like I want everything to be super accounted for. So
We used to have like a more extensive sales process, and then this year we just simplified it. So like we just do that one intro call, and then by the end of it, if I have enough information, I'm like Tim, if I have enough surface level information, we just send out the proposal and just close it. Like we've turned more into like strike while the iron's hot
yeah,
type.
and that makes sense for what I'm assuming the main body of your work is, where it's like corporate stuff. You kind of know what it is. There's not really anything too crazy to talk about.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got an inquiry like a couple weeks ago, and it's like this job that sounds awesome, and Tim was telling me about it, and it's like I can't put a bid in because I don't know enough about what they're trying to do. It's not a interview. It's not a corporate thing. It's like they're talking about commercial stuff. They're talking about like sports and like motorcycle, like, you know, all these things. And it's like, well, I need to know more. And unfortunately, I've had a hard time getting that person on the phone. So that's been kind of a bummer because it sounded like it was going to be sick. But I can't send them a proposal because I don't really know
Yeah.
what they want to do. So again, like everything else, it just depends. And I'm with you on those kind of jobs. Yeah, we do the same thing. And sometimes I don't even talk to them like that. Like Tim can handle it. We send it in, just like you said, strike when the iron's hot. But there are other jobs where they're more creative, more involved. There's going to be G&E on set. There's going to be specific camera moves. There's going to be like, we want to be really specific about everything. And that is more than just one phone call for us.
Yeah, a lot of the time, like Dario handles a lot of those calls as well, like you mentioned. And if it's pretty straightforward and he knows what I'm going to say with it as well, he just handles that. But if it's something that's going to be a little bit more intensive or creative, like in terms of the creative side of things, that's when I will like go over it with him and say like, this is what we still need to figure out. This is what we need to figure out, and then we can kind of present it based on that. Because yeah, like sometimes if a lead comes through with such vague ideas that don't really clarify anything. Sometimes those are people that are just also price shopping. At the end of the day, they're not actually intending to maybe go full out. It's like if I did a video with this,
you'd be
this
surprised,
and
Carol.
this.
You'd be surprised.
I mean, I'm just saying it could be like that, but yeah,
You'd be
sometimes though
surprised.
they are vague, but
Sometimes you just
they
get-
still want to do it.
I'm telling you, like the thing that's helped out so much this year is just like be very fast at responding. Like don't delay, don't take too long, and
Yeah.
then like you'd be amazed.
We're with you.
Sometimes like they're just in a rush,
Yeah.
or they don't know enough.
Yeah, we've experienced that as well.
So
Totally.
maybe in those situations where it's like you pitch something based on those initial call ideas, it's like, okay, that's what we're doing. And then like later when you get into other aspects, it's like, oh, now they want to do more, you know, and then it's like, okay, so now that might
Honestly,
be a situation where it works.
Yeah, I honestly find that like that first contact email they sent, like through the contact form, it's like 70% of the time after I booked the intro call with them, like it's completely different from what they sent me on the contact form. So I always like kind of look at it and go, it's probably something else.
In fact, that's actually become one of my like opening lines where I'll say, okay, so, you know, Tim, let me know X, Y, and Z. Is that still true, or have things changed now? Like literally that's become part of my vernacular because of that. That happens
Nice.
so much.
Yeah, I'll go through the details with them on the call, and then tell me a bit about your company. What do you guys do? What do you do at this place? And then details for the videos.
Sick.
But yeah, cool.
I think we really unpacked the sales process here, and even like how to incorporate the creative elements. That's great. I think we were already like a little bit past the 1 hour mark, but did you have any other like questions that you or topics that you wanted to kind of like focus or ask us?
Well, I know we had some back and forth at the beginning of the conversation about your approach to acquiring the type of work that you want to produce. And my best bud Dario over there, believe it or not, seems like we disagreed a little bit. So he
This course is good.
So you had mentioned that you didn't like, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be misremembering, that was like an hour ago now. But I think you were saying that you liked you preferred the spec work because you have all the creative control and you can make a product that you really want to make, right?
Mhm.
As opposed to getting the job for X budget and then putting X budget into the job. Am I correct in remembering that?
no,
No, because I think Kirill misunderstood you,
Okay, gotcha.
and then I was against what Kirill misunderstood. So, because Kirill was under
Yeah.
the impression of like, if the client doesn't have any budget, you
Okay.
approach the client.
Yeah, no, this was
and
after
do it
that
on
though,
the-
because you had said like you would prefer to still go the spec route because you can have all the creative control, right?
If the client has no money.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, I'm with you. Well,
yeah.
just for the sake of saying it, I guess my like opposing view to that would be, as opposed to making a spec work, like when you are able to take that budget and put it into, it's not just the video that you're getting, but you're also getting that client and the experience of managing that project along with it. So, well, I've never
Right.
managed a mountain bike shoot with this type of client. So, yeah, I'm not making a whole lot of money on it, but I'm making it really sick, and I'm getting this experience to do it, you know. So I felt like that was like a really important point that I wanted to make, but we had moved on.
Yeah,
we agree.
we've had situations in the past where, like, even recently, like for example, there's this e-commerce project we're pitching on, right? Or no, I think there's something we're pitching on. I think it's e-commerce, and I remember telling Kirill, I'm like, this is kind of their budget. Like, it's not a lot, but I was telling him, I was like, we really don't have these types of videos in our portfolio, and during my sales pitches, it's something that would really help. So it's like, we'll take less of a profit on it, but at least we can boost our portfolio with it. So we're totally open to stuff like that. Like it makes a lot of sense. Unless it's like extremely low budget to the point where it's like, no, this is gonna cost us money to make.
We're back to agreeing. I love it. This is good.
Yeah. A lot of the time it's
We've
like
come full circle.
if we can keep it where like the thing that the most that these kind of like new projects can cost us is mostly just time, we're very open to taking those on. Like when I had that example before where it was supposed to be a promotional video that was like 5 minutes, and then we pitched it as like a short documentary that was like 12 to 15 minutes. The only thing that really cost us was time on that aspect. But it's like, if it's something where we have to start hiring and paying other people to come in to do it, it can be it would have to be a really good project for us to do something like that. And a lot of the times Dario mentioned, sometimes he says like, hey, this lead came through, this is their budget, this is what they're thinking about doing. The cool thing is they want to do it like this. We don't have that in our portfolio. It would really be helpful. Do you think you can make it work? And I'm like, yes, let's figure out a way to make it work within that budget. And even sometimes that changes too. Like I remember we had an initial call with them where they wanted to do only like 5 or 6 videos, and then all of a sudden they started saying, hey, can we prepay for 25 videos?
Yeah,
like, wait, what?
That's actually
Wow,
that
that's
e-commerce one. Yeah,
Well, that's why you can afford an editor. You jerks. You're getting bulk 25 video projects, like duh.
It's funny. They're like, can we? They used a wording that we hadn't experienced yet. They're like, can we get
the prepay, the credit
no,
system.
it was credit. Do you guys have a
credit system? Yeah.
And I was like,
we're like, what does that mean?
I was like, I have
system?
no idea what you mean by that. And basically, they wanted to pay in advance because their quarterly year-end is like end of or beginning of the end of June or something.
End of June.
So they wanted to just clear out their budget so that when it renews in July, they have a fresh new budget, and then they could just use the credits from that. I was like, hey, if it's green, I'll take it.
Yeah.
As soon as they said the credit system, Dario was confused, but I got excited. I'm like, yes, we can do that.
I had no
because
idea
I knew exactly
What
what they meant.
APR did you give him?
APR. Oh yeah, that's jokes. Yeah, we should have red tag.
Yeah. We've got a 9% interest rate on that credit.
50%.
Yeah.
50% off.
Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, but that's like an example of like where like we're looking for different opportunities, because also sometimes you never know where those opportunities can lead, right? You know,
that project is confusing the hell out of me. I haven't sent out the proposal yet because they want these e-commerce videos, but they're also open to like more stuff, like their website landing page video needs to be updated. So I don't even know how to pitch it. It's like, okay, so do we just like, there's so many options with this pot of money. And then there's also the budget's getting renewed and things. So like, I don't know what they want to do. I'm so confused.
I think they're still kind of figuring it out, but like they just want to start with the e-commerce videos, and then the other stuff was kind of like some ideas that we pitched in the meeting. Like sometimes when we're on these calls, we like to throw some ideas at them to get them thinking about other things, and then sometimes they're like, "Oh yeah, we didn't think about that. Let's."
But even
let's
the
look into
e-commerce
that."
stuff, it's like, okay, we can make it like they just need it for the website, like Amazon type of e-commerce ads. But it's like, okay, we can make it really cool too, and it's like, but it's gonna like, I don't know. It's sometimes too much. I guess I understand how you feel, Jeff, with like too many unknown variables. You're kind of like, okay, so what are we gonna do with this? But
Yeah.
It's funny. But anyways, Jeffrey, thank you so much for jumping on the show with us. And we appreciate you sharing and also giving some pushback. You know, like that's one thing I'm always telling Dara, like I want to get a little more pushback on some of these episodes.
I'm your guy,
like,
man.
Let's get.
I'm here.
I love it.
I'm here to talk shit.
Well, we'll
and
bring
get
you on
dirty.
for specific.
Let's go.
Yeah, maybe we'll bring you back for a more topic specific video in the future. Like maybe do like debates, about the industry and see what's good. But one question we haven't asked many of our guests lately is like, oh, what was the reasoning behind the name of your company?
Yeah, so Noble Bison. Okay, so the first part of it is I have an affinity for just like naming things after animals. Animals are just awesome, and it also promotes like, it's like makes your logo and your branding like really easy. Like, yeah, bison. So we're gonna throw a bison on there, and that's gonna look cool, right? So like from a marketing perspective, like my brain is like, oh, sweet, like that makes that easy. And I knew it wasn't just gonna be Bison Productions, and I was like, I need another word with it. And so I went with noble as a way to keep myself accountable that the work that we do and the way that we conduct ourselves is noble. I unfortunately have worked as for multiple production companies in the past where I felt like their business dealings were not noble, or you would know that there was budget for a video, but they would just, they wouldn't put any money into it. They would just pocket all the money, and then the client's just getting kind of this like one-man band, like LED panel bullshit video, and that just really bugged me, because it was like, I understand you got to make money, but like also like, why can't we make a cool thing? Like, so that really got me, and so when I set out to do my own thing, noble was kind of like my keeping myself accountable. Like, it's going to be stuck with you, so like, just remember what pissed you off back in the day when you were contracting, and don't be like that, and be better.
Why Bison?
Oh, Bison. Yeah.
Bison.
So I liked Bison because I feel like the bison is a really good representation of the West. We have a lot of bison out this way, and we're a Colorado company, and it just felt like very Colorado. So yeah, there you go. The Noble Bison was born.
Nice.
Representing the Wild West.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah.
Love
Okay,
it.
so for people, if they want to find you, they just go to noblebisonproductions.com.
That's right.
What's your socials?
Our Instagram is Noble Bison Productions. I think that's all it is. Let me look.
Find him
Clearly
everywhere
haven't
at
posted
that.
you haven't posted on Instagram in a
Hey,
while.
no, we have. I posted this year. Yeah, so it's just
This year.
It's just Noble Bison Productions.
8 weeks ago. Oh, you got a finalist.
Yeah, we almost
thing.
won an award. We didn't win
Nice.
that award.
Oh,
Hidden Woods won
soon.
that. Shout out to them if they ever listen to this.
They're
They
coming
are?
on. They're coming on, I think, end of this
All right,
week.
well,
Yeah.
tell them I said, hey, well, actually, I don't know how well they know me. They kind of know me, but yeah, they won that award.
Oh, I have an intro call with them on Thursday.
yeah.
Yeah, with
You should start that intro
Aiden.
call with like, so Noble Bison says you unfairly snuffed that award from them.
it was yeah.
They
That's
don't hear
good.
this episode.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
And maybe
Noble
we-
Bison
yeah.
Productions on socials, and based out of Denver, Colorado.
That's right.
All right.
Right on.
Amazing.
Well, thanks, guys. I really appreciate
Thank-
you reaching out and having me on. This was fun. And let me know whenever you want to do it again. And if you want more pushback, more spice, I'm here for it. Let's do it.
Nice.
Love it.
Right
All
on.
right,
Thanks,
thanks, Jeff.
All
Jeffrey.
right. Sick. See you guys.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Creatives Grab Coffee. Please make sure to follow and engage with us on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, and your favorite podcast app.
Creatives Grab Coffee is created by Labs Productions, a video production company based in Toronto, Canada.
Creatives Grab Coffee is also sponsored by
My name is Miran. Welcome to Canada Film Equipment. We are a boutique rental house based in Toronto. We are here to help you guys out with all production sizes. Feel free to contact us to get a quote if you are a production house and you're looking for lighting, camera packages, or lighting and group band packages. You can see our contact information in the link below. We are more than happy to help you guys out. Make sure you follow and subscribe to creativesgrabcoffee.com. Thank you.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Matt. Welcome to Audio Process. We are a boutique audio company doing location sound, sound design, post-sound, ADR, Foley. We service equipment. We do all your audio needs here in Toronto. We got you covered. Come on down, audioprocess.ca. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and all of the other internet things to creativesgrabcoffee.com. They'll be waiting for you. I'll be waiting for you, and we're all going to have a real good time.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.